Well, hello everybody. I hope that the month of June has went very well for you and your families. Tough to believe that we're into July already here and looking at the July 4th holiday weekend ahead of us. Just wanted to take a couple minutes and go through some updates here on some summer happenings at United South Central and talk a little bit about what the next 2 months have in store as we look towards the start of the 2024-25 school year. So the summer months are really our opportunity to do some reflection on the year that has just passed, and then also to devote some quality time towards planning for the upcoming school year. And with that in mind, the first point that we start to do some planning surrounding is on staffing. And please know that our staff is the biggest asset that we have going for us as a school district, and we are incredibly grateful to each of you for your work here at United South Central each day. And on that note, we're rolling so far into the summer fully staffed on the teacher side of things. We currently are posting for a part-time social worker or counselor. This would be the position that Ms. Wishnack held last year and really was created to capitalize on a pool of student support money that the state provided to us in the spring of 2023. So we're optimistic that we will be able to find a part-time social worker or counselor going into the year, and we'll see what the next couple weeks hold on that front. Paraprofessional-wise, we have posted for paraprofessionals here at the moment and are seeking a couple more paras as we monitor our upcoming student needs for the year. And again, that number might be in flux just as we look at our enrollment trends between now and the start of the school year. On the transportation side, currently our bus routes are staffed. We have some individuals to get through training. However, we are always in need of more van and bus drivers. And if you know of anybody that would be interested in being trained in that regard, please send them our way. We have quite a few projects underway and in process here over the summer. In the common side of things, we had some new carpet put in both of our entryway vestibules, and we have some fresh signage going up over the next couple weeks in the commons area. Starting on July 15th for about a week to 2 weeks, the main gym will be out of commission as the gym floor gets sanded and refinished. And it'll be nice to have some fresh graphics there and hopefully keep the gym floor in good condition as we get into the 11th year in our building. The Booster Club helped us do a fair amount of seat removal in the stadium here in the early part of the summer, and we're grateful to them for coordinating that effort. We do have installation of our new seating in the stadium scheduled for late July, and hopefully that will be in place and ready to go as football season gets underway here this fall. And our playground area will very soon be closing following the holiday week for site preparation as we look to get some new equipment installed there. Um, we're hoping that our plan will help really provide more space options for students to take advantage of the playground, as well as really create a equipment set that is accessible for all of our students regardless of ability level. So the installation of our new equipment is scheduled for the week of August 12th, and as part of this, we will end up relocating the pre-K equipment closer to door 4 at a brand new playground area. So basically creating additional space to then bring in the new equipment that we have on order already. And it'll be exciting to see this come to fruition here as August rolls around. Our custodial team has done just an extraordinary job of really doing some deep cleaning, room waxing, and getting the facility really here in top-notch shape. And I do want to extend a tremendous thank you to Lowell, Kara, Tony, Justin, Lexi, Jim, Paul, Megan, Kathy, Bailey, Caleb, and Noah for some extraordinary work here this summer. They have a fair amount of the building already deep cleaned and moved back in and set to go. And there are actually fairly ahead of the game as far as summer process goes. So great big thank you to them, and they're making great strides into that area. A couple changes upcoming for next year. The first deals with Teachers on Call. And so Teachers on Call is the platform that we've used to coordinate substitute teachers in the past. I think we've used them since 2018. We are going to plan to separate from Teachers on Call mid-year this year. And basically, the logic behind it is we're not getting a ton of new individuals through Teachers on Call. They're not really helping us to recruit a ton, and then end up just being an added cost in our process. And so we are going to plan to use Teachers on Call through December. And then with the start of the calendar year on January 1st, we will then look to hire our own subs in house. And so basically, the reason for sticking with Teachers on Call through December is to make sure that we're able to work through with the subs that we have consistently in our building and just make sure we have all of our paperwork in place and are prepared to hire them as a district on our own, starting with the calendar year. We just don't want to lose any of the quality subs that we have in the process of switching from teachers on call to employing them ourselves. And then, of course, on the academic calendar front, we do have our Wednesday PLC schedule with an early dismissal starting this year as well. And we very soon will be in the process of then starting the planning phases for the school year that will come after in 2025-26. If you would be interested in being on the calendar committee to plan for that academic year calendar, we will aim to have that approved by our school board in January. But that means we'll start the planning for that in early November. So if you have any interest in being part of that process, please, by all means, let me know. Some minor room changes to pass along for this year. So we did add an intervention teacher to our staff for this year, really in conjunction with the READ Act and some legislative changes that are coming down the pike. So the intervention teacher that we've hired is Mrs. Gianni Ulm, and her room will be what was the DAPE room last year close to the library. And then kind of the domino effect of that is then the DAPE space and sensory space will move to the office next to the ISS room. And then our DHH and skill work office will then become the former Faracare's office near the training room. So, not a ton of major room changes here, but we do realize that any room moves are big deals and are challenges in individuals' days. So, we'll apologize to the individuals that did end up doing some shuffling here, and hope that we have a plan that will really help us maximize the use of our space throughout every day that we have students in the building. Also, this summer, we've had quite a bit of work going on our strategic planning process. So we are required by state statute to have a long range plan for our school district, and also it's just a great practice for us to start thinking of really what's coming down the road 3 years from now, 5 years from now, 15 years from now. And so we really started this process out in March, and our school board sat through a 4 hour workshop to get just a general overview of what the entire strategic planning process will look like. We're partnering with Teamworks as an organization to guide us through this. And then from there, we have a 16 member staff based strategic planning team that has met several times already here this summer and will continue to meet as we get into September, October, November, at which point then we turn the strategic plan back over to the board for review and adoption. So it really ends up being a very staff driven process, because ultimately it is our tremendous staff that works to achieve the goals of our strategic plan. But we've had some opportunities for parents, students, and staff focus groups along the way. We've also had some community invited sessions here in early June. And so we're excited to see where this process takes us as we get into the late summer and fall, and also incredibly grateful for the individuals that have uh, been willing to work with us and give some time to this valuable work of really helping us determine what our next directions are as a district. So it's definitely still in the middle of this process, and a whole lot more to come here on this front. A little bit of what's coming up here as we get into the month of July and then later this summer. Our school board does have an operations committee meeting coming up on Tuesday, July 9th. We're hoping to focus on just getting a good plan in place for parking lot maintenance over the next couple of years. Our workforce committee will aim to meet at some point here in mid to late July. And basically, we'll just sit down and take a look at where our enrollment is. And we're at that point in the year where we start to see families trickling in, families trickling out. And so we will meet a couple weeks down the road, just take a hard look at our enrollment numbers, and then where our staffing ratios sit from there. So please know that that is definitely something that we have on our radar that we continue to monitor, and it will be our goal to keep our class sizes as small as we possibly can. And then we do have our July school board meeting on the 16th. That is a 7 o'clock meeting. Again, they get later in the evening as we move into June, July, and August. And then the dates that I know we don't want to think about a whole lot here yet, but just to keep them on your radar, we do have new teacher staff development coming up August 21st and 22nd. Our all staff workday is on the 26th of August, and then teacher workshops are the 27th to 29th from there. So, on that note, I hope that you all have a great month of July, a great July 4th weekend. If there's anything that we can do to help you feel prepared for coming back here in August and September, please